Bonjour. Welcome to another week of 6 of the best comics. It was a quiet week, so there's not really any also rans or anything. I've kind of just picked the 6, well, no, 5 are the best, but one I need to talk about. And that one is this, the last issue in the Dark Web finale. Yeah, we're going to have a little talk about that. This, which I'm really enjoying, Briar, issue 3. I don't know whether this was running late or not, or whether, you know, I'm imagining things, but that's still a good, a nice, refreshing, light-hearted fantasy read. Issue 1 of Black Tape. You know, it's that heavy metal trope. It's that heavy metal, you know, demonic cult trope, play your record backwards and all that, but done in a nice way. Done in a nice way. Blood Tree. This was nicely done. This was nicely done. We'll have a look inside that. Nice little kind of horror thing going on there, but like a detective story, but in the horror genre. I really did enjoy this as well. This was, again, nice superhero comic, nice back book. Yeah. And this from Marvel. This is my book of the week. Yeah, I know. But her artwork is just, there's something about her artwork that's trippy and cartoony and manga all at the same time, which I find really refreshing. Like, I can't even find a handle on it, like saying it's like that artist in the past, or it's like that one. And I'm really enjoying it for that. Let's have a look. Let's have a deep dive at these little bad boys after the scroll. Okay, so let me start with this Dark Web finale. I don't know what, is there going to be an issue 2? I don't know. Now, I love Adam Kubert artwork. Zeb Wells' run on the normal Spider-Man, I've been enjoying, but I've just got to say, this is as good. Artwork fantastic, but I've found this entire crossover event a bit of a damp squib, I've got to say. It's just a bit limp. It's gone from the absolutely ridiculous. I mean, this is a worthy ending in a way. This is worthy ending in a way. Like, you know, it's giving you all the stuff you kind of really want to see in a crossover and bringing all the strands together. You know, these two as villains. Oh, I just don't know. There just doesn't seem to have been. And I'm not saying this is the worst comic I've ever read. Otherwise, I wouldn't be talking about it. It'd be nice if I got a few comments, you know, someone to defend this crossover event, because, like I say, this has been a worthy ending, defeating the hordes of Limbo. But nevertheless, there was never once where I thought the stakes were high. It's just all been a little bit fluffy and silly. Even this, I mean, Adam Kubert, he never used to do stuff like this. Yeah. But anyway, so it ends. It ends, and there's no. The reason I don't like it is there's no consequences. There's nothing's changed. One tiny thing has changed. You know, this could have been great, but you've got, you know, you know, I don't know, it just felt a bit flat for me, that rap Parker backwards thing. The X-Men in this, I don't know, they just seem really insipid. But nevertheless, it's just one big long fight, and I know, listen, I know it's a Marvel comic, but, you know, Hog, what are you talking about? But there's no raised stakes. This doesn't go from here and up and up and up. And it's, yeah, that's the best word I can use, is insipid. there's at no point did I think that Spider-Man's going to get, you know, beaten to, like in the regular Amazing Spider-Man, where he gets beaten to within an inch of his life, etc. And, you know, you see him go through it. No one's really been through it in this entire crossover. I don't know what the consequences are at stake. Obviously, Limbo taking over New York and all that, and blah, blah, hell on earth. Yeah, I get it. But it's not, you know, even this guy, you know, when she gets him to attack Rekpak, whatever his name is, even this is like, there's not any point where I'm thinking, oh yeah, you know, he's always got I didn't see that one coming and he's in for it now. And then they bring these two in. I mean, come on. One of the worst, just a little aside, one of the worst modern day characters they've ever invented. Just absolute crap. I mean, this was marvellous, Adam Kubert at his best. I literally don't know why they did that. And they couldn't have, this panel formation couldn't have been done that way round on a double page spread. I literally don't know why they did that. Which was annoying. And it's a shame, because I like the X-Men, I like Spider-Man, I like Adam Kubert, I like Zeb Wells, but none of this I felt, you know, the X-Men are just standing around deciding when they want to join in. But yeah, the artwork's fantastic, looks great. You know, that's better. You know, these are the moments you're kind of waiting for. If that was going to be something that she swore never to do ever again, and that was a double page splash, like poof. But it's not. It was just a proper squib. That's it. It's done. We're done. And Chasm is in a. She's decided to have him in look, and he's in a little room that they've created for him, all cuddly, all nice. He's got a nice view. Spider-Man's visiting him. You know what? And the only consequence is that Limbo Embassy in New York City. After all that. So, for me, that fell proper flat after all of this. Nothing. Anyway, I had to get that little one off my chest. I'm not saying this is the worst comic I've ever read. I'm not. It's very well put together. The storytelling, it has taken me through. I think I've bought most of all of that. I've been sucked in. But overall, as far as crossovers go, I don't think Dark Web is going to be considered a high benchmark in creative storytelling for crossovers. Discontinued issue 3, like I said in the intro, I don't know whether it was running late or whether I just weren't aware, or I don't know, or this was out 2 weeks ago and I've only just got it, I don't know. But again, Christopher Cantwell is writing a really nicely and just a nicely light-hearted. He's got such a light touch with this story that it's not something that is, like I just mentioned with Spider-Man, it's just so light of touch that nothing means anything. This has been light of touch from the beginning, and with the artwork of Jermaine Garcia, I just think his artwork is really nice. And I know I always say that European style. I will have to define that one day. But you know, stuff like this, we're in pure fantasy land. But when so they're trying to get into the city, Dartorian, the capital city. There's our three, you know, main characters up to this point. Look, and it reminds me of the Monty Python and the Holy Grail, where they're trying to get into the castle, and it's the Frenchman and the castle taking the mickey at the top. And look, just splash, a quiet panel. The afternoon shit buckets. We must be honoured guests. I just love stuff like that. If you're gonna have that, if you're gonna have a comedic pause in a comic, that's how you do it. You know, especially the changing camera angle, like from their point of view, and then one of the others that finds a book in the, you know, there's all the skeletons at the door, and then more more chaos ensues. Look, that's probably the wee bucket. Look, and then there's rubbish. Look, be gone with yesterday's trash and turds. So yeah, I just really enjoyed this. We get more fantasy elements in it. We got the gnomes now. And you know, without giving too much of the story away, you know, these are our main characters and these are their adventures. But now we're in, you know, we're in the land of it's just all nicely done. And when you read it, it's just all nicely, you know, they're annoying them, and then, you know, it all goes wrong. Look. Gnomes, 2 apples dead. Oh, these are the guys that are after Briar, and obviously got to go through the gnomes. Look, to get trodden on one. You know, here we go. It's a little bit of fantasy stuff, you know, the classic fantasy stuff, but you know, she's giving it large, and then just whack. Yeah, it's just great. Love this artwork, just love it, and the colouring. And I know that was a quick romp through it, but there's not a lot to say other than, you know, a light-hearted fantasy romp. Matthias Lopez, so lovely job on the colouring, Matthias Lopez. He's even credited on the cover, and rightly so. Nice, just a nice palette to suit that artwork. Love it, love it. Nice book that. An issue 1 of there's 2 new series out. Oh, is there 2 new series? Oh no, blimey, I've got 4 number 1s to follow that up. So here we go with the first number 1. Lovely cover by Dan Panosian. The interior artwork is by Dalibor Talajic. And this is the story about this rock singer. Here we go, Detroit 1973, and the partner he left behind when he died. But it's kind of giving us, this is issue 1. Lovely art job, by the way. All it's giving us is our bits and pieces. All it's giving us is our characters. You don't hardly see anything of Jack, who is the husband of our main character whose story we're following. And you know, she's obviously crying and looking through the photo album. You know, he's obviously passed on. Here's her best friend come to pick her up and go to the funeral. And you know, there's not a lot to show really. There's a mysterious character that turns up that used to be his bodyguard, his current bodyguard Frank. You know, there's something about him as well that I think I must have skipped up. It is Frank, his new bodyguard. That's the old one, but he's come to pay his respects, but he's not allowed. But we don't know why. You've got his old managers and his old, you know, they all go back to her house unexpectedly. She didn't know it was gonna, you know, happen that way. His ex-manager, and this was just, so it's just setting everything up until right towards the end. This happens in the dark. The mate goes to bed to look after her. She's reminiscing. Oh, that's the mysterious bloke on the motorbike. She hears a car outside, and she's saying that this is the reflection from the car outside. The car's lights outside, but we don't know. Dog's barking because she's talking to the dog at this point. And then, mistakenly, you know, she's trying to show the dog, look, there's nothing here, there's nothing here. And, oh, there is. This door opens. And we don't know who these pictures are, but we know where it's going, don't we? With rock music and all of this stuff. And obviously that's going to be unravelled in the next 3 issues. But I just thought this was really nicely done. Really nicely done. A little bit soap opera-ish, but you've got to do that with all the characters you've had to introduce, and they've introduced them nicely. And I suspect that everyone's had a role to play in the demise of Jack, you know, the rock star, because they're not saying anything about him. They're not saying anything about his story. So that was a nice issue 1, or it will make a nice slim graphic novel, I reckon, if they carry on like that anyway. So that was well worth it. And another independent, Blood Tree. Mad Ghost, who do Junkyard Joe, so they've obviously got Gary Frank to do the cover for them, which is lovely. I don't think no one's going to turn away a Gary Frank. Again, the art style, I've got to admit, didn't initially grab me. Didn't grab me, but I thought, no, do you know what? I'm going to give it a go for an issue 1. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did. You know, he's a better artist than I am. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it doesn't all make sense. But I'm just saying it's just one of them styles. But for now, it works. It works. And it's a detective story. This is our detective couple. Not couple, but you know, colleagues, partners in crime. And this is what happens. And I won't give away too much. They've got to pick, you know, they pick up a note as a clue. So this is all the standard, you know, they go to the morgue and this is our, you know, the autopsy. And then we're introduced to a couple more characters, and then, you know, this is just a police procedural. You don't know what's going on here. I didn't anyway. I didn't twig it. You know, like when they'd give us a clue, this should have really been a clue. But no, I didn't get it. I thought, well, what's going on here? This is weird. And then I did. After, you know, he goes out with his wife and it's interrupted. His date night with his wife's interrupted because this has happened. So that's the second one in 2 weeks that's happened. But this is the woman that we see earlier on, and we didn't know what was going on the operating table. So what we didn't know was going on there was that she was going to end up like that. And I tell you what, I'm really intrigued. I cannot wait. Lovely cover, by the way, for issue 2. But I cannot wait for issue 2. They set up such a load of mystery here. Peter J. Tomasi, story and words. Maxim Simic, artist, and again colorist. Solid, you know, solid stuff. You know, nothing groundbreaking, but solid enough. Mad Ghost, you know, so just another. As a like a label within Image, like Top Cow or, you know, back in the day. I'm really trusting the Mad Ghost kind of stable of artists and writers that are doing these storylines. I really am. So yeah, another recommendation. And then from all that weird and wonderful stuff, we come back to some standard superhero fare. This was, again, this is very nicely done, and to be fair, with the storyline, with our Andy Diggle on the storyline, and it's Black Lightning, Red Hood and Katana, and it's their story, and it's about a data breach that they've got to go to Gamora Island, and then they interweave it with a little bit of backstory about why Red Hood wants to go there, and Bane's going to be there, Killer Croc's going to be there. All the villains are gathering on the island to bid at the auction. You know, Batman's got, I mean, no one knows where Batman is. He's obviously off somewhere from the main comic. And I thought the guy's artwork reminded me so much of Frank Whiteley. It's unbelievable. Stuff like this, I don't know, not all the time, but then there would be, I mean, stuff like this is definitely out of the Frank Whiteley stable. And I'm up for that. You know, if if he's going to style himself after that, then all day long for me, to be fair. And again, just that little insert there. He's there for Bane, and they kind of sow that seed that, but we don't know what's going on with him and Killer Croc, and he's got to get into this auction. So just a nicely done superhero yarn. I really did enjoy this. I really did enjoy it. You know, all the parade. Bane's won the auction, so out he comes. He's been given protection, all his armoured vehicles, and this was a nice scene actually, where, you know, the security's working. You know, Red Hood thinks he's getting away with it, and but the security is working. But he overcomes the security. But not lovely, nicely done scene. Nice, just looking up, blam, you know, splat, amateur. But that is a homing device. So, but we don't find that out to another few pages. So apologies for the spoiler, but I'm just giving you examples again with a Frank Quietly. This reminds me of the All-Star Batman and Robin. Was it the All-Star Batman and Robin he did? Frank Quietly. I don't know. There's something about his style that really just. And like I say, there's nothing wrong riffing off that man's art style at all, because he's awesome. And there's this. This is the black market kind of crypto space station for, you know, multi-trillion, gazillionaires. You know, taking it to the nth degree with all that stuff. Really nicely done. Really did enjoy this. It was a lovely, nice page-turning read. It really was, and it's good to see Katana done well. Actually, it's good to see all these three characters done well, and all relying on their own, all their individual powers and their individual, and especially for him, for Red Hood's individual reason to be there. You know, this flashback to Alfred was nice. Nice colouring. You know, nice colouring just to offset the flashback. And then back to present day, and a nice cliffhanger. Nice cliffhanger. Love it. Really enjoyed that. The end question mark. You know, we all love a bit of that. Andy Diggle, and that is Carl Mastert on the art. And obviously the colourist is Romulo Fajardo Jr. Don't know if I recognise that name or not. But like, you know, really did compliment the art. I thought really did compliment the art style nicely. So another recommendation. Great, and again, great cover. Great cover. It says there one shot, but whether or not that's going to resonate in any of the regular titles, I do not know. So, book of the week. Now, I only know, I believe that they've done a Demon Wars series before this, but where I've only just been recently catching up on comics and stuff, you know, I've got a little couple of years gap kind of thing. I really only know the Peach Momoko name as a cover artist of mostly variants. So when I saw this and looked inside, it was, I just had to have it, to be fair. I really did just have to have it. And it's, you know, when it's got story and art by one person, that's what I really do like. That's what I really do like. And they give a nice summary here of what's gone before, which is brilliant for people like myself that haven't followed it, but you're picking up the #1 and you think, oh, you know, am I going to be wasting my time here? But her art style, and with the what looks like, you know, because me with my old-fashioned attitude, I think that there's someone drawing all this on board and using watercolours to colour it in. But I doubt very much if that is the. I'd love to think that that is the case, and this is what I mean about the trippy. You get this is her going into the Eli, like limbo again, I suppose. Look at this! What a beautiful! I'd love to see this in black and white. If they ever done a variant or a director's cut, I'd love to see this artwork in black and white. I bet it's a completely different experience, like, you know, mangaed black and white. And if she knew she was drawing it in black and it weren't going to be coloured, I bet it would have a different edge to it. But all these characters, I'm loving all these weird and wonderful characters. So she's gone to this world. You know, our main hero. This is her best mate. This is our main character, and you know, these are one of the bad guys. All of the battle, basically the fights that ensue. And learning a little bit more about, you know, this is wonderful. This is wonderful stuff. Love it. You know, it's a gorgeous piece of artwork and storytelling here. You know, I just love these. You know, they're not defining too much the character's powers at this point, but you know, she uses her power enough that you know, she just kind of has this whatever power it is, and the colouring here again, lovely. Look at this stuff. Yeah, I was just really impressed. Just really impressed with this. It's a more of a beautiful thing to look at than read. I've got to admit, I've got to have a second read through of this, and I'll tell you why it is. And you know what I'm like for names. You know, apologies everyone, but I mean, stuff like this, obviously I can follow it, and it's gorgeously done. But when they start going on, and it's all the ancient Japanese, you know, names. You know, I know that Mariko is the main one, and then she's after Yamato, but when it goes into, it really does go into it. You know, like the further overarching storyline. This was interesting as well, how this was done. You know, with this babyish looking character, and then, you know, don't cry, no, don't cry. Like this is what I mean. Like Hitatatsumi Kozo. There's plenty of that in here, but my God, we know the power she's got. So, you know, and that's her mate. This one of the bad guys at the moment, but I'm pretty sure this is going to go a different way. You know, look at this. I love this stuff. It's got such a it's got such a flourish to it, this artwork. You know, you've got some classical stuff here. This is what I mean about if this was in black and white. You know, this stuff here. It really does look like it's ink and watercolours. I love it. Just love this style. That's pure manga, without the nose, because it's in, you know, or without the nostrils rather. Yeah, just a great introduction to the story and all of these weird and wonderful characters. But like I say, it's only because of the names. It isn't because of the storytelling. Please don't think that, because this is the book of the week for me, and I'm going to enjoy reading it through again, slower. But it's only because I've really got to get my head around. It's only me, my ignorance. I've got to get my head around, you know, Kingan Doshis and Yamamoto's, and I've just got to get my head around it. It's not like Bob and Harry and Ted and Bill. It's, you know, it's all the Hitatatsumi Kozo's, and, you know, yeah, Mariko and Yamamoto's, obviously, you know, it's typical that I can't find anything else other than that to give you an example. Oh, Nekomata, look. But anyway, like I said, and then to be continued, this character's introduced at the end. You know, nice classical bit of Japanese. You know, like just the menace in that silhouette. Love it. Love it. But it looks almost innocent. You know, like a twisted geisha. You know, why she's holding that mask, I don't know, because she's got her own horns. So, yeah, really did enjoy this. I really did enjoy this. And it was a revelation to me, because I thought she was just a cover artist. So, I love it. I love it. And the Scarlet Hanya, Momiji, so there's another name. Maybe I should just make notes, write them all down. And here they are in the back, giving you the lowdown on what they've kind of based them on. And, you know, Itsuki come from Chinese legends. See, I thought this was more Japanese, to be fair, but most of them are, I think. But there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. And just where they've got their inspiration from, which is nice. Which is nice. I thought so anyway. So there you go. That is my book of the week. Not sure if that's cover of the week. I think obviously a bit of Gary Frank. Let's just have a quick run through the covers just to round it all off. Dan Panosian artwork, you know, that's always going to be good. I think that's quite an arresting cover. It tells you everything you need to know before you look into it. I don't think Briar. I think Briar, you know, issue 3. I don't think. I love the artwork and the colouring, as I've said, but I think this is the cover of the week for me. That's the cover of the week. yeah, and I will leave it there. You know, this weren't a bad cover, but I don't know why it's finale #1 when it is the last issue. I know that's why it says finale, but I don't know why it's an issue 1 if they're going to surprise us with an issue 2. But great art job, don't get me wrong, great art job. But I think overall, Batman Legend of Gotham #1, one shot. Cover of the week, and on that note, I will bid everyone adios.